Welcome to Three Kings Crab Traps Wire and Supplies. Welcome back to Three Kings Crab Traps Wire and Supplies and Crabby Adventures. In today's video we're going to go over a blue crab trap for recreational crabbing, how it's set up, how it works, little rules and regulations, make sure your trap's legal, all the things you need to have on it for when you go crabbing. You want to be out there having fun, catching crabs, not getting a ticket and getting things wrong. Alright, so let's go over some of the things you need to have your crab trap ready for legal crabbing. If you're a recreational crabber, you will want to make sure you have a saltwater fishing license. You're allowed to have up to 5 traps per person. So some of the things you're going to need are 3 coal rings. You can see here we've got 1, 2, 3. 2 need to be on the top of the part of the trap, 1 on the bottom part. They can be on any part of the trap, doesn't have to necessarily be on the side, it can be on the back, front, wherever. But you want to make sure that they are 2 3/8 coal rings. Like I said, you got to have 2 on the top, 1 on the bottom. That is so you can call out the smaller crabs, fish, and things that you don't want. And that's a Florida requirement. So you want to make sure you have that. Another thing is there's a biodegradable piece they want. There's several different options of these. The ones that we use, and it seems to be the easiest and most cost-effective way, is a 3/8 wooden pine dowel. If you read on the FWC, it says that you can use that. You can use other things such as jute twine, untreated pine slats. There's a few different things. You can go on and look for yourself. But if you can see, this is a real easy way to have your biodegradable, make sure you're legal. And this is so if the trap does get lost, becomes a ghost trap, this will rot away, or whatever biodegradable piece you use. But in this situation, if this rots away, this will become loose, and this comes open a little bit to where the crabs can get out. At least have a chance to survive if the trap does get lost, which does happen from time to time. So that's a good idea to have it, make sure it's legal and all that kind of stuff. You want to get the crabs out. Another thing is they want you to have permanently affixed tag on the trap. Basically, you're going to have your name, your address, and when you register your traps, you're gonna get a B number, which is it's a free thing. You go to myfwc.com. They'll give you all the information to do that, and so you just want to make sure. I just use this piece here. It's cheap. It works good. I just wrote it on here with a Sharpie just to give you an idea of how it works. A lot of people will do get fancy, make stainless steel plates or dog tags and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be anything too exciting. This works good. I always put it right at the top, so if you're in clear water and FWC just drives by, they can see real quick that you have all your information on your trap. So and I just zip tie it. It's basically just a outlet cover. It's 99 cents, so or cheaper. But anyway, that's one way to do it. There's other ways to do it, but just make sure you have that on your trap so they know whose trap it is and that it's registered and all that kind of stuff. Alright, so one of the newer things the FWC has required recreational crabbers to have. This doesn't pertain to commercial crabbers, just recreational crabbers. They want you to have a 2x6 turtle excluder that goes on each funnel that you have in the trap. So on this trap we have 4. Each funnel, throat, they call them sometimes, have to have a turtle excluder. Like I said, this is made out of a 16 gauge 1x1 wire. It's the same illustration they use on myfwc.com, so we're just going off that. They do have different types of excluders. There's some are plastic, some Some are different sizes, so make sure you keep an eye out if you're ordering online or something like that. Different states have different regulations with different sizes. So in our case, it's 2x6. We sell them 4 to a pack. We put them on if you're buying traps from us for you. We use hog rings. If we sell them in the pack, you can use zip ties as well, so they work just fine. So anyway, I was just going to go ahead and show you. I've got a few on here. They go in relatively easy. I can show you how we install them. We use hog rings. You just put the thing in the funnel there. I don't know if you can see. And a lot of people have voiced concern about, you know, the trap not catching as good with these things in there. We've used them, they work fine. We've catch a lot of crabs, big jimmies, so we have not had an issue with it. And the good part is we have not caught any turtles either, so that shows that it works. There we go, and there you got your 2x6 piece. If you can use zip ties, they work just fine. All right, so just to show you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and put this one in real quick. I don't know if you can see very well, but if you know, if you don't have hog rings or hog ring pliers, you can go ahead and just use zip ties. And another thing too, I've seen online in some pictures in different places, I see that some people have put these right here, on, you know, right on the outside of the funnel. According to the FWC, it says that it should be at the most narrow point at the funnel, and to me that makes a lot better sense. So I think you're going to cut down a lot of your catch on your crabs if you have it on the outer part here. So just make sure when you put it in, you put it at as far in as you can at the most narrowest part of the funnel, so that it catches better. We'll go ahead and put this one in here. All right, there it is. All right, so now I'm going to go over how we could set the trap up, get it in the water, and how it works and all those kind of things. So on your buoy, if you're reading the regulations, they're going to ask you to have a legible R for recreation. It's got to be at least 2 inches so they can see it. This is your float. This is our rope. This is sinking rope. You want to make sure your rope's not floating up on top of the water. You know, if you have extra rope and it's out there floating, you know, and the wind's blowing, a boat can drive by and, you know, cut off your trap or ruin the boat or not, you know, the prop and all that kind of stuff. So we recommend that you have sinking rope, and if you don't have sinking rope, perhaps you can put some lead on your rope to make it sink. The last thing you want to do is get your trap cut off and not be able to find it and mess somebody's prop up. So anyway, we go ahead and put this loop on top, and you know, I like to have it so you can have an easy way to pick it up, or if you have a gaff or something, you can easily grab the loop, or you can grab it underneath, however you want. But I do like the loop on top. It's a little bit easier to grab, especially for recreational crabbers. It gives you something to hold on to. In regards to putting it on the trap, there's several different ways you can do it. It's not, you know, it doesn't have to be anything specific. These are just my recommendations. So what I like to do is, if I'm not using an iron on the trap, I like to set up the rope to go right here, right in the corner, so that way you've got all 3 parts of the trap. It's a stronger area for when you're pulling up the trap. I like to loop this on so I can take it on and off if I need to redo the float or something, or if I want to use a different trap. You can use one of these little slip knot things here and have it just like that, and you're good to go. You've got your buoy, rope, it's on there. Like I said, you can take it on and off if you want to switch traps, you know, or the trap's damaged, but this is still good. All you got to do is just slip this right off and pull it right out. So that's the way I like to do it. You can put it pretty much anywhere on the trap, but you know, if the trap gets old, you know, starts to wear down, and if you're putting it here, you know, and the wire breaks and you go to pull it up, the trap breaks, you know, then you lose your whole trap, and it's a pain in the butt to find it and all that kind of thing. So I like to use it right here where you got a whole bunch of strong things coming in together at once. Alright, so if you're in an area where you have some current, you might want to use an iron rebar of some sort. We sell them. They're square, welded together. This one here is a 3/8 3-pound iron bar. We attach them at the bottom of the trap with zip ties. You can also use these bigger hog rings to put them on. Either way works just fine. But yeah, you want to put it at the bottom of the trap. If you're in some current, you might need that. And if you do use the iron, I'd recommend installing your float at the bottom of the trap around the trap and the iron bar. That way you get the strength of the iron and the strength of your trap as well, and you don't have to worry about losing either one of those pieces. I would just do the same thing there. Like I said, if you're going to use the iron, I'd recommend it here. If not using the iron, go ahead and put it right here in your corner. So, and this pertains more to our commercial crabbers. So recreational crabbers can use them as well. This is a zinc anode. We install these on crab traps, like I said, mostly on our commercial crabbers because the traps are in the water, 24/7 almost. So this is basically just a sacrificial zinc. As the trap is in the water, it erodes, so the zinc helps the trap last longer. This will erode first, and preserving the life of the trap. And then when we put these on, we typically will strip a little bit of the vinyl and certain areas to where we get as most of the trap as possible. Usually we'll put it back here on the corner, wrap it around here on the two sides and the baffle. Like I said, you just want to strip a little bit of your wire so it makes a good connection, and then just wrap it around real tight, and that should be all you need there. So, but like I said, the commercial crabbers, they're in the water almost 24/7. Recreational crabbers, we typically don't use the zinc on there. You don't really need it. If you're just crabbing here and there, your trap's going to last, several years regardless. So, but if you're going to crab a lot and you do want a zinc, it's a good idea. And so a lot of people ask us what's good to use on the styrofoam float to paint or whatever on your R for recreational. I did this for illustration purposes with a Sharpie. You can use a Sharpie, it works fine. It does fade out over time. If you do use a Sharpie, I recommend just making sure you go over it from time to time, making sure it's nice and legible. Other paints, you can't use spray paint on there, it'll eat the styrofoam. I do think they make some spray cans that you can use on styrofoam, but I haven't used one that works really well yet. So it's pretty much safe to go with brushing it on with like a latex paint or maybe an acrylic paint, something like that. So that's what I would recommend using for your R. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is just go over the recreational crab trap and just go item by item, make sure we've got it all right. Some of the information that they have here on the FWC.com. Go there and check everything out for yourself. That's for Florida. If you're in a different state, make sure you check out your regulations so you're doing it right there too. Anyway, they go ahead and say that the crab trap maximum trap size, if you're making your own crab trap and you don't know what size to make it, it can be no bigger than 2 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot high. So it all equals into 8 cubic feet volume. The mesh size has to be 1.5 inches or larger. You can use something larger, but everything we do is 1.5 inches, either hex or square wire. The throat or the entrance cannot exceed more than 6 inches inside the trap, so you want to make sure you have that correct. Like we said earlier, you got 3 escape rings, 2 3/8. Let's see. The new law that they passed, I think we went over earlier, is the turtle excluders. Got to have them on each funnel, all 4, or if you have 2, every trap's different. Most of them have 4. A 2x6 turtle excluder, that's effective March 1st of last year. So that's something a little bit new. Make sure you have those just in case they check your trap. Let's see here. The biodegradable piece, in this case we're using a pine dowel, a 3/8 pine dowel. There's different ones you can use, different ways. You can use jute twine, you can use a panel, you can use, check the FWC.com, myfwc.com. We'll put the link down in the description below. And so the other thing is you have to have your name, address, and it's going to be a B number for recreational crabbing. So once you register your traps, you have your saltwater fishing license, they'll issue a B number. So, and you have to make sure that's affixed to the trap somehow or another. There's different ways to do it. Dog tags, you can engrave it on stainless steel, or there's a lot of different ways to do it. I just use this for illustration purposes, but it does work just fine. This is a plastic outlet cover. You can use steel or galvanized, whichever they are. I just zip tie it to the trap, put the information on there, and all that kind of stuff. So you just want to make sure you have that permanently affixed to the trap. The buoy, got our float here. They want a legible R, and for recreation has to be at least 2 inches so they can see it from a distance. The buoy has to be at least 6 inches. So that's that. And like I said, we have our sink line. It's not a requirement, but I highly recommend it. Some other trapping regulations says here, I'm reading off the FWC here. It says the trap must be pulled manually, so you cannot have a puller on your boat or anything like that. If you're recreation, you got to pull it by hand. I was saying earlier in the video, that's why this loop comes in handy. You have something to grab if you're out there just pulling your trap. It's kind of a convenient way to do it. Let's see, traps must be pulled only during daylight hours, so no nighttime crabbing. Make sure you watch the closures. There's different times for closures and where they go, and you got to pull all your traps out. This is for recreational and commercial crabbers as well. So certain years, they have even numbered years and odd number years in certain areas where they do closures. Like I said, you can find all this at myfwc.com to get all this information. But just make sure you know when these closures are in your area, because you don't want to have your trap out there and they do a trap cleanup and all of a sudden you lost 5 traps because you didn't realize that they were doing a trap cleanup. And at that point, I think your crab trap is pretty much gone to the trash. So we've gone over pretty much everything. Let's see, that's pretty much it. I think we've gone over just about everything else here there is. Let's see, just trying to make sure I've got everything right. I didn't want to miss anything. Alright, so that's pretty much it. Like I said, if you go to myfwc.com, they'll have all the information there. Make sure your trap's all up to date. Check up on it every once in a while. I don't know of any new laws or things coming up soon, but it's always good to check periodically to make sure your trap's legal. Like I said, you don't want a ticket. It save you some hassle going over all these things. So we have all these things available here for your trap to be legal and ready to go. We deal a lot with most of our business. We do commercial crabbing, and just a general rule of thumb of courtesy, just do your best to stay away from the commercial crabbers. They're out there working hard, making a living and all that stuff. Recreational crabbers, I am one myself. I don't commercial crab, haven't got there yet, but just stay away from the commercial guys. They're running fast, they're running a lot of traps, so it's just out of courtesy, do your best to stay as far away as you can is my best advice there on that. We hope you enjoyed this video today. Make sure you go over your crab trap and make sure it's up to regulation. If you're in Florida, you can go to myfwc.com. Also, if you need a fishing license, go outdoorsflorida.com. We'll leave the link in the description below. Please like and subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. We'd greatly appreciate it. And thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video. Remember, you gotta catch them.